meetings or working relationship with him. So I would say my style might be different from him from here on. Before Tehama, it's actually a funny story how I found Tehama. So before Tehama, I've been uh,
All right.
Hi,
Hey. Good
How
to
are
see
you?
you.
Good to see you
good.
too.
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm really good. Things are kind of like
Yeah.
settling down. It's less of like crisis mode, so I'm getting to enjoy stuff. Yeah, I just wanted to drop in before you start to see that everything's going well. I see that you're sharing video and sound all right. So
Yeah.
honestly, if you're good to go, I'll let you take over and do your thing.
Yeah. Thanks for checking in.
Of course, no problem. Have a good workshop, everyone.
Bye. Hey, Fabian. Fabian?
Hi, nice to meet you, Jen. Fabian.
Nice to meet you. How can I pronounce your name?
Fabian or Fabian? Yeah.
Yeah, good
you
either
prefer?
way.
Sure.
Cool. So there was someone else just a second ago. That person is now gone. But maybe what I should just do is I should just sort of start introducing what MUC is, masculinity and expression is. Would that work?
Nice.
Yeah, cool. So we're a group of guys in Ottawa who are trying to figure out what it means to be a man, right? Like this world is changing quite quickly. Like we're noticing that the world asks different things. Apparently I have 7 people listening off screen. I didn't know that. Hi, everyone. This is the first time I'm on this software, so I had no idea that there were other people as well. So I think regardless of whether I'm only talking to you, Fabian, or to other people, I'll still do the same anyway. So masculinity in the construction is a group of guys. We're talking about what it means to be a guy. We're Ottawa-based. We have an accountability structure because when you have these conversations just as guys, there's certain biases that you have to navigate. And much of what we do is both sort of deconstructing, so figuring out what society teaches us as guys and whether we're happy with what we're getting taught, right? Like taking a critical look at what all that is, as well as constructing, like figuring out what the skills are and what the sort of behaviors are that we think we should learn to become better people and to get stronger connections with the people around us and with ourselves. So I'm just gonna share my screen, and this is gonna be an interactive workshop. I can't talk and click at the same time. I'm really bad at that. So if you follow the link, you'll go to a Google Jamboard, and that is, I think this is screen sharing. Yes. Sorry, 1 second. And in the Google Jam, to give your input and share what it is that you have to share. So if you're here for the workshop Manly Emotions, you're in the right place. My name is Jan van Heusen. Jan, I use pronouns he, him. And I want to talk with you about our emotions and have your input on what you think manly emotions are and how that works. So the perspective we're going to take is sort of the classical cognitive behavioral therapy perspective, where we see the sort of triangle that thoughts, behavior, and emotions all influence each other. And to a degree, we have control over our emotions. To a degree, we have control over our thoughts. And I do believe we have a lot of control over our behaviors. But those 3 reinforce each other. So if we think angry thoughts, we get angry, right? If we feel emotionally disturbed, then our thoughts get, changed by that as well. And our emotions and our thoughts are very strong drivers of our behavior, right? So as we go along, keep that little triangle in mind. I would love to hear from you. What you can do is, here are Post-its. So you can add a Post-it with a thought, like so, and stick them on the board, right? And I would love you all to do that, or what we think emotions are that men are sort of by society expected to have, right? So in the box, this is the man box. Let's put a couple of emotions that we think that men that men show more often, or that men are expected to have. What are those emotions? If you want to also share through talking, that's fine as well. If you want to share through this board, please do. Please note that you got to navigate to the right board. So I'm at the third one right now. Are we seeing it, all of us? All right, confidence. Men are supposed to show confidence. Yes. Is someone placing one outside of the box already? So if inside the box is what men are expected to have, then outside the box is what men are not expected to have, what men are sort of discouraged from showing. So men are supposed to be emotionally strong, only show strength. Indifference, yeah, beautiful. Yeah. Brave, men are supposed to be brave. Maybe it's brave like the opposite of not showing fear. Men are not supposed to show fear. Right? Are the people who are engaging without video, are you able to unmute yourself? I don't really know how this works. Men are supposed to be rational. Right?
If people want to share their sound and video, they can just click on the button on the top right. It says something like join or share or something like that, and that's how they can talk. So I assume anyone's welcome to do that, right?
Cool, thanks, Elizabeth. Yeah, so I thank everyone for putting their Post-its on here. And if you want to give a little bit of an addition of why you put that Post-it there, like please join in sound. Fabian, you just unmuted yourself, so I think you want to say something, right? Yeah, cool. David at work right now. Yeah, can't talk. So what we see is that there's like a limited scope of emotions that men are supposed to have, right? And if men are, especially when we're young, right, we have still our complete range of emotions that we're feeling. Like we're kids, we're young, we do feel fear, right? As kids, we are able to be more vulnerable to, for example, our parents, right? Kids, I think, are superbly sensitive, right? I mean, it's an individual quality as well, so it differs per kid, but I think kids are very, very good at noticing what's going on in other people. Like, they're really good at that. Right? But kids show things like hope. They show love, right? And then as we grow up, we sometimes do get taught that those emotions are not really what's expected of kids, right? So if we're afraid, we get told like man up, right? Or if we're saying that we're feeling hurt and we're dealing with those emotions, we get told to toughen up, right? And these are not always messages that are very direct. It's through movies, it's through loads of different places that we hear, like kids towards each other, like friends, can very strongly like give those messages to each other. All right, but what we really see is that certain emotions we're encouraged to feel, and other emotions we are discouraged to feel. The second thing I'd like to talk about with you is behaviors when emotional, right? So we feel those emotions. What is it that we can do with those emotions? How can we cope as men? What does society tell us that we can do when we have strong emotions? So please go to the next slide, slide number 4, and add, keep it bottled up. So basically nothing, and try to like keep it inside. Yeah, for sure. That's what we see as strength, right? As manly strength, is bottling it up. What are some other things that men can do with their emotions? Shut their emotions down. Yeah, I did that personally with my stress. So I was told that men, don't really feel stress, and men are tough and they can deal with that. And I think I actually learned how to shut my own stress down. And like for a long time, I wasn't able to recognize my own stress anymore. But I got migraine attacks, right? So I think those migraine attacks were really, really related to me shutting down my stress. And then the last few years, I've tried to sort of become more in touch with my own emotions again and how I feel them. And I noticed that I was working as a caseworker in the shelter. And I noticed I was finally able to feel that stress again. And I think because I realized that again, I was able to resign in time and leave before I got a burnout. So for me, that was feeling those emotions allowed me to show behavior that was actually helpful. Blow up, yes. I think that is a very important one, right? As men, one way that we deal with our emotions is become aggressive, and sometimes that's towards a wall, right? And sometimes that's towards people, and not only even the people that we are maybe angry at, but sometimes even just the people who are close by, right? Or just start yelling, right? What are some ways, some behaviors when we're feeling emotion that boys are not allowed to show? Cry. So that's one that's very close, dear, and near to me. I kind of unlearned how to cry. Like I've had a pretty tough year with that shelter that I was speaking about earlier. One of my clients overdosed, and I've just been unable to cry. And I'd love to release some of that sadness through crying, but I've myself for so long not to cry that I can't really do it anymore. Seek physical support and comfort. Yeah, absolutely. As a guy, you got to be strong, and for a guy, being strong very often means going at it alone, right? We see strength as being able to solve your own problems on your own, which of course is not true. Like everyone is stronger when you're together, everyone, right? But men get taught that that's not the case. That to be a real man, right? Seek professional support. So I have been a counselor myself, and still I find it really hard to go out to counselors and seek that support. Because I've been taught as a man as well that that's not really what you do. Spiritual exploration. That's interesting. So I'm not religious. I think I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. I do feel like religion might be one of the only ways for man that within that religion they are able to than the behaviors we have in the box. But I'm not an expert because I'm not religious myself. Right? Speak about or describe emotions. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so men are not taught how to speak about or describe their emotions. And what's really important here is that certain of these behaviors are skills, right? So if we have these big emotions, you wanna be able to work with them. You want to be able to cope with them because emotions can be very overwhelming and very hard to deal with. And so working with them is a skill. You got to learn how to do it, right? And so speaking about or describing your own emotions is actually a skill. You need to learn the right words. You need to learn how to catch your emotions in words. And if you don't learn that from, I don't know what age, but young, if you don't learn that from young, then later on, it's really hard to actually learn that, right? So these behaviors are healthy ways for us, or could be healthy ways for us to cope with our emotions, to really bond with people by supporting each other and being there for each other. Or these behaviors can be super harmful, right? Some of the things that we have, not sexually vulnerable. Oh, that's such a big one. Thanks for that one. Some of these behaviors that we have in are actively harmful for men, for ourselves, but also for the people around us, right? Shutting down is very harmful for us. Like, I think that part of men not seeking support, a man wanting to lean on themselves and solving their own problems, I think that is part of the problem of, and I gotta put a little trigger warning here. I'm going to talk about suicide, but I think that's part of the reason why numbers of men who commit suicide are much higher, especially among the men who are actually in society, have the most power and the most money, around, like, what is it, 35, 45 years old? Like, if we look at the resources that they have, they should be the happiest people on earth, but they're not, right? And I think that that's very much because of this, because of what we're talking about here right now. I have 3 more minutes. So one thing that's really important is that men do learn these skills, right? And the way to work with our big emotions, there's different ways to do that, right? So we can teach ourselves to use certain thoughts. We can teach ourselves to use certain behaviors as men, and we should do that sort of in connection with other people, because we're social beings, right? So we can deal better with those emotions. So we can honor our emotions. Our emotions as men are important. If I am angry, I need to honor that emotion. I need to work with it. Because very often when I'm angry, it indicates that something is going on that I need to pay attention to, right? So not exploring it, not sharing it, just pushing it down is not going to help. Vulnerability is our most accurate measurement of courage. Yes, yes, love it. No idea who put it there, but absolutely true, right? Our best tool of working with emotions, of regulating our emotions, is the connections we have with other people. As a child, we learn how to regulate our emotions through other people recognizing our emotions and providing us the support that we need. And in our most darkest, our hardest moments, that will always be the best tool that we have, because we are intensely social beings, right? And men learn the opposite. We learn that we have to close ourselves off. So we're robbing ourselves of our most important tool, right? We have 1 more minute. And I've been talking a lot because of how this is set up. If anyone has a question, do you want to put it as a sticky note or say it, or? The awkward silence. All right, then I think I should. Where can we go to learn more about this subject? Come to Masculinity, www.masculinity.info. That's our website. That's a place where we can have these conversations. We also have a lot of presentations or conversations on Facebook. We have monthly workshops. We have socials, and we have resources. I think that's the easiest one to refer you to. Is just myself for now, or ourselves. And then I have a website. Oh, let me switch to the last page. I have an email address and a website, and this little picture is a little joke of how masculinity, when we pretend to be strong, we actually sometimes end up being very fragile. Does the group Masculinity Under Construction include young boys too? Right now, not yet. We are exploring over the long term how we can have those conversations with young kids, because definitely a lot of the important skills that we need to learn, it's so much better if we learn that at a young age, right? And we do set up projects with people who are interested in setting up projects. So if you have a group of young kids and you want to set up a project, connect with us. Everyone, thank you so much for being here. Fabian, thank you so much for being the brave single person to show your face. I really appreciate that.
Thank you very much. Has been great, important topic, because I realize misandry in our society, and this, it's multicultural society. So this means multiple masculinities, and I had some experience of change. I am Latino Canadian, or masculinity, it's very expressful, and in some contexts this create a conflict. So for the reason, when I arrived 11 years ago, so I had this reflection, and obviously I set more in Anglo-Saxon masculinity, that is tough, it's rational, it's it's and obviously it's the same, but my culture is very expressful in feelings and masculinity too. So it's very interesting, this cultural misunderstanding. So I think this is very important topic, and thank you very much, Jan, for this.
It's actually, you bring a really valuable point forward. So for example, many countries in Africa, men are super comfortable holding each other's hands and walking together as friends while holding each hands, right? So masculinity does look very different per culture. Yeah, very, very interesting. So I was very much speaking about the masculinity as is hegemonic here in Canada. Yeah, you're right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I will share your website.
Thank you.